Hey, everybody. I am so excited. We have Arin Fugate from the Elevated Networking Society, and we are going to have so much fun today. I found this group about a year ago, I think, and I was just looking for women in business to hang out with. And I was so lucky to find this amazing, amazing group of people. And there are so many things that have changed and grown. And I just wanted to invite Arin here to talk a little bit about it. And not only is it here in Oregon where I live, but it is growing out into a global phenomenon. So thank you so much for coming. And Arin, please let me um, ask you, what is it that inspired you to create this group, this phenomenal, amazing group?
Well, first, thanks for having me, Joanna. I'm happy to be here and so happy that you found the group and are a part of creating the vibe that's there because it truly has a life of its own. I don't even believe I can answer that question because I didn't set out to create it. I too was looking for it.
Mhm.
After the pandemic, I was also a new mom with second child. So I was in postpartum. It was the pandemic. I had been working as an entrepreneur for 15 years. And before having babies, I was always at networking events. I belonged to an organization called BNI, Business Networking International. I would go to my weekly meeting. I was out and about and I loved networking. And it was a very valuable way to build my business. But when I had babies, it just rocked my world completely. I had them later in life. I was 40 when I had my first child, and I knew it was going to change me, but I didn't really understand how it would be like a partial death
Mm.
of my personality. And I couldn't go to my networking events anymore. I was doing some version of attachment parenting. So my babies were on my hips and I was nursing and nursing on demand. And I was like, I can't really go to this networking event and like bring my baby and pull out my breast and start nursing.
Mhm.
So it made me kind of take a pause to that way that I was used to being a woman in business.
Mhm.
And as I had the metamorphosis that can happen when you become a mom, I wanted to recreate and reinvent myself in the business world. So I was ready, like I was done nursing, she was going to preschool, and I was ready to start getting out of the house again. And it was a double whammy. It was I want to get out of the house because the pandemic has made us all a little like we don't know how to be social anymore, at the time. And I wanted to get out of the house because I had been momming and I was ready to put on a cute dress and get the spit up and the diapers off of me. And I wanted to go network with awesome, amazing women. But I didn't want to network with women who were pretending to be men, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to find those women in business who were tuned into their intuition, who were creative, who were willing to dress the way they truly wanted to dress, say the things they truly wanted to say, start the businesses that they truly wanted to start. And I found this networking group, this group of women that was all of that and more. And it just was a soft place for me to land.
Mhm.
As time went on, that group, the leader of that group, decided she wanted to step down. And I watched the group start to fall apart. We went from 20 women meeting every month to 8 women in the room.
Mm.
And she offered me to take over the group, and I really didn't want to. I was like, no, I can't. Like, I have these kids. Um, but I didn't want to give up that magic that I had found.
Mhm.
So I did decide to take over the group, and it has blossomed and morphed into this beautiful thing that is bigger than me. And I really feel like I'm just here to midwife it into the world. And I'm still very curious where it's all going.
That's amazing. Yeah, and that's how spirit finds us, right? We didn't want to step into greatness, but all of a sudden, here we are. And sometimes
Exactly.
you just have to, take a leap of faith. And I'm so glad that you did because now all these lives are being transformed because you said yes.
It's really important, I believe, to follow the breadcrumbs.
Right.
Whether you believe in God or spirit or the universe or just your own higher power, I feel like there are breadcrumbs on our path of life. And you can go about life feeling like, oh, things are just happening to me. This is just bad luck or good luck. Or you can look and go, oh, that's a sign. That's
Right.
an invitation. And what happens if I walk through the door that's being held open for me? And that's part of the adventure for life, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, I have struggled with anxiety and depression for most of my life. And if
Mhm.
I don't look at things that way, it becomes a very dark place.
Right.
So, it's the gift in the challenge there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so when you took over and it's transformed since that original group, what are I know that there are so many things that you're doing within the group. Can you tell people a little bit about what's offered? Because it's not only the monthly gatherings, but there's so much more. There's so much.
Yes. Yes. So we have a very vibrant Facebook community, and that's open to everyone. It's our just come be in the Facebook group with us where we have conversation starters and promotional post threads. Then from there, we have a member directory. And that's a place where it's a paid membership and you fill out a profile. And so women can find you. And there's a cool map, interactive map. So
Nice.
the vision eventually is that there's women in that directory from all over the world. So you drop into San Francisco, into Italy, and
Mhm.
you can go, oh, let me see if I can find a member of the Elevated Networking Society. Then we have our monthly mixer in Southern Oregon, which is a really popular and fun event. We feature a speaker and we have structured networking exercises that are not your traditional networking. They're designed to really drop people into deep conversation so that we forge intimate connection very quickly. And I've just added virtual networking. So we'll have a monthly Zoom now where we can have that same experience, but in a virtual space.
That's so great. And I'm so excited for the global vision. I know there's a something like it's for businesses, but it's all over the world, and you can just kind of pop in. It's like you pay a monthly fee and you pop into wherever these places are. And I envision that this is what this is going to be: just women from all over the world connecting in wherever they are in the world. We'll connect in on Zoom and keep in touch that way and be inspired by each other. I'm so excited for this vision for you. This is so exciting.
Yeah, me too.
Hmm. You have a mastermind group. Can you tell us more about that?
We launched a beta version of a mastermind or a business program. It didn't exactly turn out how we wanted it to, so
Mm.
that's reworking. I'm looking at doing a go at your own pace course
Mm,
for
mhm.
heart-centered networking. So
Nice.
that's on the docket there. And then I'll be experimenting this year with my first sponsorship of a workshop trainer. So I will promote and kind of put my stamp of approval behind someone who offers an amazing workshop. And
Mm.
so things like that will start coming down as
Nice.
well.
Like a workshop for.
So different business skills, leadership skills, things that you might need, from a coach or a business consultant. And so we'll put the workshop out there. I won't run it, but I'll be getting the word out for the individual.
That's great. Yeah. And it's so needed. I think when you're starting a business on your own and trying to figure stuff out, it can be really overwhelming, I think, for women, especially just to try and figure out what to do because you've got information coming from every direction, and there's so many workshops and courses and this and that and all of these things, and to find it in one place would be amazing.
Yeah, and what I find women really want is they want community.
Right.
They want to know that there's somebody else who's walking the path alongside them
Yeah.
and have that peer-to-peer mentorship.
Mhm.
because you know things that I don't know. You have experiences that I haven't had. And when we get together and connect and we share our goals with each other, we can really help each other. And that's true community, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really love how you promote having one-on-ones with people. I think that's key. That's key in the community so that people get to know more than one person in the group and find other women who they might not have normally uh, met or talked to, but you promote that. And in the group, Arin reminds people, "Oh, have you had your one-on-one this week? Like, who have you had your one-on-one with? And how can you promote them?" I think.
Mhm. Yeah, because what the group is about is we're not a hard referral group. So there are some networking groups that you join and you have to give each other referrals. That's part of what you're paying for. In our group, we really believe that you build the relationship and then the sales will follow. And we're not here to sell to one another. It
Mhm.
might happen where I hire you for your services or you hire me for mine or purchase my product, but it's not the end goal. The end goal is to create that web of network.
Mhm.
And we can then refer each other authentically. We can purchase products from each other authentically, but it all has to start from this place of who is this person really? And can I build a trust and a bond with them? And what I hear from the women is yes, business is being passed, but what's happening more is real friendships are being created.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful and needed, especially for women in business. We don't necessarily enjoy things being only transactional.
Mhm.
We want to have the soulful presence behind it.
Totally, totally. And that's what's happening. It looks like you have a definitely a core group of people that surround you and take care of you and love you very much. And that's the feminine way, I think. That's what women want, like that core of safety and community and trust. And from that you can branch outwards. And it gives you the confidence to go out there and be more you.
Yeah, we do best when we have our circle. That surrounds us. I
Totally.
agree.
Totally. What are some of the things that you've learned from the people that you've met from these circles?
Oh, I've learned so much. Recently we had Dr. Lucy speak at our mixer. Were you at that one?
I wasn't. I couldn't make it.
It was such a beautiful talk. She talked about her concept of building your courageous council. So she's a researcher and she teaches courage and resilience to leaders and corporations. And she's done a bunch of research on successful women.
Mm-hmm.
And what she shared with us is successful women have a council or a circle, like we're talking about, of women around them who fulfill specific roles. So she said these successful women will most often have a hype person, a wisdom, like a mentor, someone who shares wisdom, a truth teller, and a cheerleader.
Nice.
So I may be missing some of them, but that presentation was very telling
Mm-hmm.
because she had us do an exercise where we really did some introspection and asked ourselves, do we have all those roles filled?
Mm-hmm.
And if we're missing one, to look around the room because you might be able to find that person here.
Nice. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. Yeah, my roles aren't that filled yet.
exactly, right? We can look at that and go, oh, yeah, I don't have that. Or maybe you have a de-hype person in your life.
Oh, right,
Or noticing that you have someone that doesn't tell you the truth.
right.
And sometimes you have to make room by, it's not that we're kicking people out of our life, but kind of going, oh, you don't really belong in that circle, that courageous circle of influence. I need to demote you to just outside the circle so I can bring someone in that will fill that spot.
Absolutely. And I guess on that, like as you and I one of the people in your circle, Lonnie, I was talking to, and she was saying, yeah, sometimes you need to fire people so that you can level up into the next um, space in your life. So when you're leveling up, sometimes the people that um, were around you aren't the people that you need around you for that next incarnation of yourself, because we're constantly changing and growing and becoming bigger. And sometimes, yeah, those people either aren't ready to come with us, or they're left back in a different chapter. Like, how do you deal with that, like knowing that you have to move forward? And um I guess what's your thought process around it, and how do you deal with that, like moving forward and leaving people behind, but knowing that there's this great group of people in front of you? Because I know a lot of people will be dealing with that as they come into their more expanded self.
Yeah, and it absolutely will happen as you grow and you change and you achieve and you improve yourself. You will start to notice the people in your life who aren't choosing the path of growth. And it's not a matter of, judgment.
Mhm.
Everybody gets to choose their own pathway, but it becomes really important who you surround yourself with. And I like to look at it the same way that I look at nutrition. I don't believe in diet culture or saying I can never have a cookie.
Right.
What I do is I try to crowd out the cookie with vegetables.
Hmm.
And, if I have a big salad or a bunch of steamed broccoli, then I'm not going to like binge on a whole bag of chocolate.
Right.
So I feel that it's the same thing with our circle of support,
Hmm.
taking that moment to be conscious about, do I have someone who like cheers me on no matter what? Do I have somebody who has been down this path before? And I it's kind of like a law of attraction. Instead of focusing on who do I have that is not helpful and I need to fire them,
Right.
I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to go, okay, who do I need? Who am I moving towards? What am I moving towards? And also remember that ultimately it's completely an inside job.
Hmm.
My success and my growth only is between me and me.
Right.
And so I can't use the excuse that they're holding me back.
Right.
They're not holding me back. I'm staying back.
Right.
And if I walk towards, my future self and my greater self and my higher self, then I can have so much compassion and love for all the people that have been with me along my path. And everyone is welcome at my table.
Hmm.
I just don't have seats in my inner circle for people that are going to not have my best interests at heart, not bring out my best self.
Right.
But I still love them.
Right. Yeah. They're just not a part of that journey that you're
They're
on.
not a part of that journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably don't want to be anyways, because it becomes very uncomfortable. If you're a woman who's got a big vision and a big heart and a big mission, and you're waking up every day like on fire, the person who's choosing to sit on the couch and gossip and complain about their life
Hmm.
is not going to enjoy spending time with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to be like mad at each other.
Right.
It just becomes, oh, we're not an energetic match anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that does happen. And I think I've realized that even with my own thoughts, like I'm like choosing what I want. And sometimes we can focus on what we don't want, and that doesn't get us to where we want to go. You do have to focus on what you want. And it took a while to get there too, because it's so sneaky, those thoughts of like, oh, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. But then what, like I explain it as this, like when you jump into your car and you program the GPS, you program in where you want to go. You don't program in, well, I don't want to go here for sure. Like, okay, where do you want to go? Well,
Yeah.
definitely not there. So you put in exactly where you want to go and you can get there. And so yeah, it's so important. It's so important to watch your thoughts and surround yourself with people who also are thinking that way. Like, what do I want? Where do I want to go? And that's exactly what you're doing. You're bringing together all of the people that are like, we want to go here. And when two or more are gathered, it starts snowballing. And so the energy, and for people who haven't gone to these events yet, the energy at these events is so captivating and so enlivening and so energizing because everyone's focused on moving forward, focused on the future, focused on what they want, that there is no room for what you don't want.
There
There's
isn't. Mm-mm.
right.
And a person who didn't want to be in that energy would be repelled when they walked through the door.
Right.
And that's been a big lesson I've learned in business. There was a time when I wanted to be everything to everyone.
Mm,
I wanted every person in the world to be my customer or my client. And I learned that's a people pleasing
mm,
tactic, and it creates for very diluted energy.
right.
If you have the type of energy where somebody walks into the room and they're a full body yes or a full body hell no, then you've created something powerful. And it's like, bless them and release them. If you do not want to be in this room, that is all good. I hope you find the room that you want to be in.
Right. And I don't know. Do you think it's you just because I was like that too. Like I was like, oh yeah, like everyone is my client and I want to everyone. But when you finally get, and maybe it's you've lived long enough to experience the gamut, but I only want to work with people who are a yes because they're more fun.
Absolutely.
It's more fun. It's
Yeah.
more fun for all of us, right?
Yes. And I don't want to wear a mask anymore.
Right.
I don't want to pretend that I'm someone I'm not or some polished version of myself. I want to show up to the table authentically me and have the people who are like, yeah, like rock on, like let's do this.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. It's just more fun. And
It is more fun.
right. And it's funny, I have a lot of different like friends who do different things, but when you can walk into a room and feel yourself, feel like you don't have to put on a show, I think yeah, it relaxes you enough to be your authentic self. And I think somebody I forget who it was, but somebody said the highest vibration of energy isn't necessarily love, but it's authenticity. And
Right.
people feel more safe with you when you're authentic and when you're coming to the table with just pure you. And you're right, it doesn't have to be polished, it doesn't have to be some super version of you. Just you is enough.
Yeah. And whatever that is, you might love to have your outfit perfect and your hair perfect and your makeup perfect. And that's authentically you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And you might love to wear like Converse tennis shoes and, like funky clothes, and that's you.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be a healer or you might be a banker. And it's just a matter of who are you really? And we want to get to know you. And I think that energy creates a lot of safety when people walk into the room
Mm-hmm.
because they can feel immediately, oh, this is a safe space.
Right.
This is a space where I can really get to know the women here. And we do this cute thing where if you're brand new to the group, you get a star on your name tag.
Mm.
And that tells people that you're new. And maybe you could use somebody coming up and asking you some questions because we all know how nerve-wracking it can be to walk into one of these events where you don't really know anybody and you're supposed to give your elevator pitch. And we're just working really hard to go like, wait, let's just throw out all those pretenses here. We're women, we are in business, and we're looking to get to know other women in business. And that is it. You can just be yourself, whatever that is tonight.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And it feels like such a safe place to just open up. And I remember going to the first event being really scared, but after a while it's so welcoming because people come up to you and ask, what's your business and what do you do? And after a while it just feels like you're with friends or family.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm. And so, whether it's because people from all over the world see this, So whether people are here in Oregon or around the world, how can they become a part of this organization?
Yeah, so go to elevatednetworkingsociety.com and choose your membership. You can get a free membership that allows you to come to our events, or a paid membership for $25 a month. You can set up your own profile on our directory. And now we have virtual networking. It's called Elevated Connection. And the next one is in a couple weeks. I don't know when this recording will come out, but go to the website, come to the virtual connection, and start to meet amazing women.
Yay. Oh, I am so glad that you came today and shared all of your wisdom and all of your love for this. It's going to help so many people, and I already see the vision of it spreading throughout the world, and it's so needed everywhere. And especially, I think there's people out there in the world who need it and wouldn't necessarily be able to come to an event here in Oregon, but you are sharing this goodness, and it's going to reach so far. So I am so thankful to you, and I'm so excited to see where this goes for sure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I will put everything down in the show notes so you can have the website and sign up. And we will see you at the next event, maybe in person or virtual. And thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, everybody.